Hi everyone, I'm Cindy and we are back today and we are continuing on with our Fox tutorial. I wanted to check in. I'm usually behind the camera. It's not my comfort zone to be in front of the camera, but here I am. So I am a real person. Thank you though for everyone for tuning in. And we're going to continue on today with the ear. I noticed that last week I may or may not have oversighted some areas that I think that are fairly important to focus on. So we're going to bring that to your attention in just a few minutes. If you have any questions as I'm working with the Fox tutorial after you've watched the videos that are specific to the Fox tutorial, then please fire off the questions to me and I'll do my best to answer them in a timely fashion. And in fact, what we might do even is just do a sit down like this and answer your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. So stay tuned and we will continue on in just a moment. Okay, we're back. So some of the key points that I think I may or may not have oversighted last week were in specific regards to the ear. I noticed that the ear, we're not really getting the full shape. So the full shape would go beyond the actual frame here. So key things to remember are with this is to maintain the shape of the ear. The other point is if you look at, I just want to make sure that you can see here. If you look at the reference image here, the reference photo, there's these darker areas. And so those darker areas are not necessarily fur. It could be some skin, but it's casting like shadows and so forth within the ear. And so what I've done is I've actually taken slivers of black glass and already glued them down strategically in different areas here. This is how I tend to work. This is what works for my brain. Some individuals would rather place their glass as they continue placing and gluing as they go up, then plug in those darker pieces. This is how I work. And that's where I want to just kind of bounce over to, like, every artist has their own way of doing things. And that's what makes each artist and their pieces unique. And it doesn't mean that one way is right and one way is wrong. It just means we have different processes. And so, see what works for you and just kind of go forward. Key things to remember, though, is when I continue to fill in all these areas with browns, caramels, the beiges, that they be very tightly placed together. That's paramount, so things don't become disconnected. Then the other thing that I noticed is, and I'll just make sure that the camera is, just move it there. Okay, so one of the things that I noticed is with the ear on the pattern underneath, I had taken the marker, as you may or may not remember, and sketched with a marker so I could see the way the fur was lying and moving, the movement of the fur. And so I had sketched the ear up here, that's fine, but then I had brought it down here, and indeed that's incorrect, because when I looked at the image here, I don't know if you can see that, here, the ear goes up here, it goes beyond the frame, and over here, it goes beyond the frame. And it just happens to be the way the photo was shot. So that's something that I've just noticed now. And so with that being said, what I would say to you is don't be afraid to study your photo reference. And if you're not sure, just kind of pause and wait. I mean, this has been going on for quite some time, and I just realized that I had indeed really miscalculated the ears. So it happens even to the veterans that have been doing this for a long time. I will also mention that I'm using Prep Multi Adhesive glue for this glass on glass project, and it's definitely my go-to glue, and I do sell it. I have 2 sizes available, and I will share the link on this post as well. So if you wish to order it, I certainly do ship all over, and you're not just getting a product, you're getting my expertise using the product. So if you have any questions, then I can certainly answer that as well. I hope this helps, and have a great day, everyone. Okay, I am back again. So the advantages of having this on an easel is you have a better perspective. But the challenge is when you're gluing, sometimes your pieces will slide. So you just kind of have to keep that in mind. So I'm putting glue on the individual pieces here now. And it's a process. Understatement of the century. I find it easier in most cases to use my needle nose tweezers and just put them, and I'm putting them right tight against each other. That's really important as well when you're doing the filling in part. And it could be considered more difficult because I've put the black in to create that distinction, but I find it's manageable. So it's just how my brain works and how I find it easier. So I'm just going to continue on like that. And if you have any questions, drop me a note and I will do my best to answer in a timely fashion. Have a great day, everyone.